Today, we're diving into one of the most unique and beautiful ecosystems on the entire planet, a place that's now in a fight for its very survival.
So what's the big deal about the southwestern tip of South Africa? What makes this little corner of the world so incredibly important? Well, let's get into it. We start right here, in what's known as the Cape Floral Kingdom. Now, it might be the smallest of the world's 6 major plant kingdoms, but wild as it punch above its weight. We're talking about a place so rich, so diverse, that it's been named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yeah, that puts it right up there with places like the Great Barrier Reef. It's that special.
And if you want a number that just blows your mind, here it is. This region is home to over 9,000 different species of plants. And get this, a huge chunk of them are endemic, which is just a fancy way of saying you can't find them anywhere else on Earth. Nowhere.
To really put that into perspective, think about this. Imagine taking every single plant species in the entire United Kingdom and cramming them into a tiny fraction of the space. That's the kind of mind-bending botanical density we're dealing with here. It's absolutely packed.
Okay, so now let's zoom in on the kingdom's most famous landmark. But you gotta understand, this isn't just a big rock. It's a living, breathing, vertical ecosystem, and it is teeming with life.
Table Mountain is literally a sanctuary for some incredibly specialized creatures. You've got the super rare Table Mountain ghost frog just hanging on for dear life in a couple of mountain streams. If you look closely, you might see the beautiful Cape sugarbird, whose beak is perfectly shaped to drink nectar from the amazing king protea, which happens to be South Africa's national flower.
And you know who you'll definitely see? These little guys, the rock hyrax, or as the locals call them, the dasi. They are everywhere, just chilling on the rocks, looking kind of like oversized guinea pigs. They look pretty ordinary, right? But their family tree has a giant surprise. So, if you had to take a wild guess, who would you say is its closest living relative? A rabbit? Some kind of rodent? Nope. It's the elephant. I know, it sounds absolutely crazy, right? But the DNA doesn't lie. This small, furry little rock dweller shares a common ancestor with the biggest land animal on the planet. It's just one of the wild evolutionary twists you find in this place. All right, let's leave the mountain for a minute and head over to the nearby West Coast. Because for just a few weeks every year, the land there puts on one of the most unbelievable natural shows you will ever see. See, after the winter rains come through, something truly magical happens. What looks like dry, boring scrubland for most of the year just wakes up as millions and millions of wildflower seeds all decide to burst into life at once. And the result? It's a jaw-dropping spectacle. The whole landscape just explodes in these huge blankets of orange, yellow, purple, and white. You have fields of daisies and these super vibrant succulents called viges, creating a carpet of color that literally stretches as far as the eye can see. But here's the thing. There's a really big problem. Everything we've just seen, the ancient flowers, the unique animals, those unbelievable blooms, this entire, irreplaceable world is facing a massive threat. And this isn't some far-off abstract issue. We're talking about a biological invasion, and it's happening right now, completely rewriting the rules of this delicate ecosystem. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a direct quote from the South African National Biodiversity Institute, or SANBI. They're basically sounding the alarm, saying the invasion has reached crisis proportions. So, who are the bad guys in this story? They're called invasive alien species, or IAS. We're mainly talking about non-native plants, like certain types of Australian wattles and pines that were brought here and have now just gone completely rogue. These aren't just weeds, they're hyper-aggressive invaders that the local plants just can't compete with. So, why does this matter so much? What kind of damage are these invaders actually doing? Well, the fallout is devastating, and it affects everything from the water you drink to the survival of entire species.
First off, these invasive trees are incredibly thirsty. They suck up enormous amounts of water, literally choking the life out of rivers. They grow so fast and thick that they block out all the sunlight, killing the native fynbos underneath. This, of course, pushes all those unique local species closer to extinction. And they even mess up the natural fire cycle that the fynbos actually needs to survive.
And this right here, this picture shows you exactly what I mean. Fynbos is built for quick, fast-moving fires. But these dense forests of invasive trees, they burn way hotter and for much longer. These fires are so intense, they actually sterilize the soil, making it impossible for the native seeds to ever grow back.
But it's not all doom and gloom. People are fighting back. There are programs like Working for Water that send teams out to physically cut down and clear these invaders from mountains and rivers. It is tough, back-breaking work, but it's absolutely essential to bring the water back and give the native plants a fighting chance.
Here's the catch, though. The urgency is off the charts. Like the experts at Sandbeat warn, we are in a race against time. The problem is huge, and the window of opportunity to actually fix this is closing, and it's closing fast.
So what's the bottom line here? The key takeaway is that the stakes could not be higher. This is about so much more than just pretty flowers. It's about water, it's about stability, and it's about protecting a global treasure. If we fail, the heritage we leave behind will be a shadow of what it once was.